Giving all Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashim Makai Kodash, double honors to the elders and the apostles who come from. Shalom to the sincere Akim, pushing this word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to the very few Akwaf that listen and learn as well. And I just want to go into, rising obesity in America during the pandemic, and when I saw this, I said, the elite, which the top Edomites, which control this society, they have the people right where they want them. This pandemic, caused people to become even more obese, more lazy, right, and fattening the sheep up. So when they come in with their NWO, and they come in with their to establish, their new kingdom, or which they think they're going to do, it's going to be easier for them to do it. They want to disarm the people, and they want to have people obese, overweight, not being able to properly defend themselves, man. All right, because what you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, which are the Israelites, don't understand is that Jacob's trouble is around the corner. And a lot of you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans you aren't prepared spiritually, mentally, or physically, man. All right, a lot of you are obese, especially Israelite women. Eve is through, man. Eve don't pick up a weight if her life depended on it. All right, and that's going to come to bite you, all right, in the butt during these times, man. And the scriptures go into, how you're supposed to properly treat the body that Yahweh Shai gave you, and that goes into obesity, how much you should eat, what you should eat, the dietary laws. The scriptures are meant to benefit you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, but you thumb your nose up at it. All right, let's go ahead and get this clip.
Created a number of healthcare problems in addition to COVID, and now we are learning more about how it impacted kids' overall health. ABC 10 News reporter Jared Aarons takes an in-depth look at childhood obesity and why it increased so much in the past year.
Alexis Avila began having weight problems when she was 16.
My mom, she noticed that things weren't really going well with me.
That was right before the pandemic started. As the months went on, staying healthy became more difficult.
At one point, it was getting kind of hard since I couldn't see any more friends and it was kind of like isolating. It was kind of a hard point in my life.
A visit with her doctor helped turn things around. Alexis changed her diet and her routine.
I've also been a lot more into exercise, which has definitely helped me mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Her doctor, Cherie Chu at Sharpry Staley, says Alexis' story became common during the pandemic as she saw more kids struggle with weight.
So if you had a kid who was following their growth curve previously like this, you're seeing just...
And just quickly say, if these kids are gaining weight during this pandemic, you better believe that the parents are as well, right? Because the kids get their meals and their food from the parents. If the parents are obese, more than likely the children are going to be obese. It's a direct connect there.
Jumps up on that curve, and so that's pretty much across the board.
According to a new study from the CDC, childhood obesity rose significantly during the pandemic. The study looked at health records of 432,000 kids across the country. It found 19.3% of them were obese in August of 2009. A year later, that number had jumped to 22.4%.
For an individual child, it meant that instead of gaining 1 or 2 pounds over 6 months, they may have gained 7 or 10 pounds over those 6 months.
Grady Children's Hospital.
All right, let's grab a quick scripture. And this is Isaiah 24:4, and it reads, "The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth," all right, and languisheth means to just pine away, man. This is where you get this obesity rising during the pandemic. People are just pining away, letting themselves go. You know, the stress from the pandemic. You know, all the the worry. You know, the what do you call it? You know the stress eating. You know, is causing people to physically and mentally pine away. You know, to languish it and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. All right, and haughty means proud, and that's the majority of these people that are in America are in that haughty, proud spirit. All right, this is where you get, you know, let's see if I can get it. I had it pulled up. This is where you get this. You know, all right, Eve in that haughty, proud spirit, but she's super big, man, super obese. All right, that's that's the latter end of the scripture, man. All right, she has
It is a great day to pay
she has completely pined away, man. You know, it takes decades to get this big. You know, it's ridiculous. This be Proverbs 23:2, and it reads, "Put a knife to thy throat, if thou be a man given to appetite." Or it's better. It is better to destroy thyself than to be a man who's always or overindulging in food. You know, gaining weight, being obese. Why? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, what you're doing is you're killing yourself anyway. You're just doing it slow. All right, you might as well just get it over with, man. You know, all the other Taco Bell, Burger King, McDonald's, and you know the processed foods that you Negroes, Latinos, Native American eat. All right, it just destroys you from the inside out, man. Clogs up your arteries, gives you high blood pressure. You know, gives you gout, gives you diabetes to where you have to get your feet amputated. You know, and a lot of you niggas, Latinos, Native Americans, you don't follow dietary laws anyway. You eat what you want to. You eat shrimp, crab, and lobster, you know, and pork, and then wonder why your feet need to be amputated, man. And you got diabetes, you know, drinking all the sodas and sugary drinks and all day and every day, you know, sipping the purple drink.
Dr. Jeffrey Schwimmer says that can lead to long-term health problems like heart and liver disease, high blood pressure, or type 2 diabetes. He compares that study to a check engine light for the health of the country.
When you look under the hood, you see that a lot of children had really no change, no difference. But those children who were most susceptible may have actually gained not the 7 to 10 pounds, but even 20 or 30 pounds.
The study also found kids who were already overweight or obese and kids aged 6 to 11 had the biggest jumps in weight. Dr. Shu blames the chaos and stress of the pandemic, which led to changes in how people eat, sleep, and exercise. But she adds, that's a problem we can fix.
While it's concerning, I feel hope that people can shift course now. Kids are back in school. We can kind of get back to what we used to do before the pandemic hit.
That's what Alexis did. She lost more than 20 pounds and says if she can do it, any kid can.
Do it for yourself. Do it because it'll make you feel so much better.
Right, we'll end it off there. We'll get Proverbs 25:16, and it reads, "Hast thou found honey? Eat so much as it is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit it up." All right? And this is how you're supposed to eat. You're supposed to eat just enough. You know, our bodies are like cars, man. You fill them up, you know, enough with the right oil, and it runs properly. All right, food is our oil. It's the same way. You don't want to if you put too much oil in the car, you can actually damage the engine. All right, same way with the bodies, man. You over fill your body, then you're going to damage it. You stretch your stomach out, you know, you become, you put on extra fat, which too much fat clogs arteries. It messes up your kidneys, you know, especially for men. It can cause all sort, you know, men and women, but I'm speaking on the men. It can cause all sorts of problems. All right, man tits. You know, it allows your estrogen levels to rise in men. You know, all sorts of things, all sorts of complications can come from being overweight, man. And this is exactly where the elites want you sheeple. You know, overweight, out of shape, and unarmed, so they can come in and destroy you, man. Especially you Israelites. Proverbs 23:21, and it reads, "For the drunkard and the glutton shall come to poverty." All right, you're over drinking and overeating, you're gonna come to poverty. And you notice a lot of homeless people. You ask their background or their story, it's always around over drinking, more than likely, or you know, drug use. You see, and you know, you see a lot of homeless people, you know, that are overweight, especially, you know, the women. But as time goes on, you know, that weight comes off. You know, they're not eating properly, or they're not eating as much. But being in poverty are always centered around these two things, more than likely, or drugs. And drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags. All right. Get our last precept. Ecclesiastic is known as Sirach 31:20, and it reads, "Sound sleep cometh of moderate eating." All right. You want to sleep right. You know, you want to get it. You want to get your good night's rest. Then don't eat as much, man. All right. Don't look like this. You know, you always have people who look like this that always have trouble sleeping. They're up all hours of the night, you know, or they're snoring, or they can't properly sleep right, man, because they're too big and they eat too much. He riseth early, and his wits are with him, but the pain of watching and shoulder and pangs of the belly are with an insatiable man. All right, and insatiable means you can control yourself. And the people who are overweight or obese, they can't control their eating habits, man. You get those pains of the belly, you know, stomach hurting and bubbling, all right, and making noise because you overate, man. You know, Yahweh Shem Shai gives you wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on how to you know, retain this flesh, you know, this wicked flesh we're in anyway. You know, to keep it up to the best of your ability. It's in the scriptures. All right. And with that, Lord willing, be us be edifying. And till next time, next lesson, I want to say Shalom.